Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here today. XRP updates. Today, we're going to bring those your way. And did you see this? That's right. We're going to talk about the top stories of last week in today's video. Hey, so I just went through, sorry for the late video. Obviously, we normally come to you at 5 p.m. Pacific time, recording this video, 8:15 Pacific time. Just went through a crazy plumbing issue at the house. The whole house was shaking, had to have an emergency plumber come out. But the good news is I didn't have to do a video on the red candle. So that was great. So yesterday's candle ended before I started today's video. So we get to continue our streak of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of green videos. Very exciting. Obviously, we did have a down day yesterday, 2.9%, but we're kicking off today to the upside already at 1%. So we're going to jump into the charts. We're going to look at the weekly, daily, 4-hour, and we are also going to check with my indicator, see what that is telling us. We've been talking about how we've been building and building and building that bullish momentum. There was only a really important key 4-hour 50 moving average. If it were to break that, now we have to move this, of course, and we'll get into that. But if it breaks that, that is still a bearish scenario. But what we did talk about, price getting all the way back up to the daily 50 exponential moving average, which is now lower as well. So that is good. So we get to the pricing there. As price gets over and climbs there, if we can gain this as a support, we could see some very exciting bullish momentum coming in. If not, we may have a bearish sell-off. So we'll jump into that today in the charts. But first, let's go see, what did you miss last week? So top stories that you may have missed last week: Tornado Cash developer Alexei Perstev to stay detained until next year's hearing. This is blowing my mind here, guys. Sam Bankman-Fried is still out chilling in the Bahamas, while this guy, hey, did he or did he not do something wrong? We don't really know. All he did was create a system that allowed people to mix and spin their crypto into a different wallet, so there was more anonymous, and this guy is locked up and he's detained until next year's hearing, which is absolutely insane. Amid the ongoing investigation into crypto mixer Tornado Cash, the product's developer, Alexei, will be subject to at least another 3 months of detainment as per court ruling this week. So this guy is literally being locked up without the possibility of probation. And there's real life criminals that get released every day without even having to even pay bail. Earlier in 2022, United States authorities flagged Tornado Cash as a tool nefarious parties allegedly used to launder funds. And that would include Ukraine through FTX. So Pertsev was detained for suspicions of foul play, although the situation has drawn lots of controversy, and rightfully so, because this guy's in trouble when there's some really nefarious people out there compared to this guy. You may have also missed U.S. Senate committee schedules FTX hearing for December 1st. CFTC head to testify. A U.S. Senate hearing slated for December 1st will aim to look into FTX and the events surrounding its downfall, titled "Why Congress Needs to Act: Lessons Learned from the FTX Collapse." So was this on purpose? Was this a government mandated situation, a false flag, if you will? A lot of conspiracy theory people out there are saying that this was crashed on purpose by like a government agency, so that way they could come in with these regulations and really clamp down as hard as they want on the actual industry. So the hearing will feature Commodity Futures Trading Commission Chairman Rostin Behnam, among other witnesses. According to recent documentation from FTX's Chapter 11 bankruptcy case, FTX Trading Ltd. owes a combined sum of more than $3 billion to its 50 largest creditors. American crypto Fed registration at risk as SEC alleges filing anomalies. American crypto Fed DAO is at risk of losing its registration as a legal entity after the United States Securities and Exchange, the SEC is in the news nonstop these days, guys, dug up anomalies in the Form S-1 registration statement filed by the firm in September. According to the SEC, the form lacks vital information regarding American crypto Fed DAO, such as audited financial statements and details about its business and management. CryptoFed was the first decentralized autonomous organization, or DAO, to get legal registration in the United States back in July of 2021. Bankrupt crypto exchange FTX begins strategic review of global assets. Defunct crypto exchange FTX launched a strategic review of its global asset as part of its recent bankruptcy filing, attempting to maximize recoverable value for stakeholders. The asset of 101 of 130 companies affiliated with FTX are also being reviewed. According to John J. Ray III, the new CEO of FTX, the affiliates are solvent and can be sold or restructured in order to reduce losses. And if you guys remember, I made a video recently about how Ripple has made offers to buy up some of the companies affiliated with FTX. So now that they're preparing them and they're getting them ready to sell off, will Ripple buy them up? I've seen a lot of people in the comment section talking about how Ripple is only commercial use, this, that, and the other. And you guys are not paying attention to the Ripple ledger that's being built. They're getting ready for NFTs, not just pictures and faces and art, but like real legitimate NFTs. And they're also looking to build alongside with smart contracts based upon the Ethereum virtual machine, or the EVM. So let's not forget, Ripple is not just cross-border payments, which is going to be awesome, and of course XRP, but they're looking to expand its entire identity. Amber Group's co-founder Tien Colander passes away at 30. Tien TT Colander, co-founder of Amber Group, unexpectedly passed away in his sleep in November 23rd, per a statement released by the firm. He was 30 years old and leaves behind a wife and son. Colander also set out the board of the esports company Fnatic and founded KeeperDAO. Previously, his career, he worked in structured credit trading at Goldman Sachs and as an emerging markets trader at Morgan Stanley. Interesting, right? So another young creator in the space dies mysteriously. If you guys remember, there was also another recent young man who died. He even went out and said that the CIA and the Mossad was after him and all this crazy stuff. And then he ended up getting... Was he taken out or did he die mysteriously? We don't really know. But this is another one. Young guy loses his life way too early, 30 years old. Prayers out to him and his family. Winners and losers last week. So Bitcoin had a high of 17,781 and a low of 15,647. Ethereum got all the way up to 1,226 and then back down at 1,082. Top altcoin gainers out there. Huboy token up 43%. Curve DAO token up 23%. Litecoin boosted hardcore last week, up 19%. Top losers for the week. Chili's coin is down 35%. Chain is down 21%. And Algorand is down 16.09%. All right, so let's jump over the charts and do a breakdown of what we got going. So we're up 1.46%. It actually just moved up again. Let's look at the 15-minute candle here. Look at this. We got a big move on this candle right now. So that's exciting. 2 minutes left coming into that candle. So let's jump to the weekly first and foremost. Take a look at what we've got. So we do have 19 hours, 31 minutes left in this candle. The weekly open happened right here. It did have a drop throughout the week, but the open was at 36 cents, 0.36057, and has now moved its way up to current trading at 0.40132. 40 cents. So that was a boost of 4 cents this week.
If you're ready to earn an extra $200 to $3,000 per day in passive income, just like the Run Guys do every single day, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, then click the link in the description of this video to learn the Run Guys' #1 way to start earning passive income online with crypto today.
And if you guys take a look here, we do still have a fair value gap available to fill on the weekly chart. So it's made the move up. It did break off this trend line that I had drawn out earlier today, doing some trading on the side. But as we can see, it did reject off that, bounced down. And then, well, today it's already starting to make its move back up. So we'll take a look into that. But you can see this fair value gap that was left from this wick here to this wick here. That fair value gap is almost filled to the 50% level. So you can see the white line always represents the 50% level. of that fair value gap. It did fill up in there pretty good, did not quite get the full 50%, but we'll see. Does it make its way all the way back up and fill the full fair value of the weekly? We shall see. So let's go ahead and get rid of these trend lines now because they're not needed. And let's go back. So obviously, boom, bullish weekly candle. Very exciting. Again, the new candle starts in 19 hours. So tomorrow we will have a new weekly candle start. Does it continue the move to the upside? We've been very bullish, and we'll take a look at the algorithm and the indicator letting us know what we have on the different time frames here shortly. So let's go ahead and now jump to the daily charts. As we just talked about, price is bumping to the upside already today. We had a nice move 2 days ago up to that 50 exponential moving average, rejected. Yesterday up to the 50 moving average, rejected. And today we're already starting our way back up there. Now, if you subscribe to the channel and you were watching yesterday, what we talked about is on the daily channel, there is a bearish indicator that is flashing. And what that would mean is price would actually move up above the 50 exponential moving average, maybe stay there for a day or two, a solid close above that, and then we could see a bearish sell-off after that. So that is a potential scenario that is still flashing in my indicator. So that's why we have this 50 exponential moving average marked, because if price does move to this level here and get above it, then we would look for a break below that to indicate that there's a potential sell-off as far as that goes. Now, what we also want to look at is here on the daily charts. The fair value gap is here as well. Let's turn this back on. We don't need that, actually. Just turn that back on. There's a daily fair value gap as well. And we did mark off where that ends, right? So the fair value gap ends up here at 45 cents, 4580. So that is, believe it or not, that's a very bullish situation that's ahead of us, because usually you want to fill the fair value gaps. The market does not like to leave those open. And when price moves down fast, it usually moves back up fast. But right now we've been chopping sideways. We did have a little boost. Is it a fake out of this triangle pattern that was created? Because if you go ahead and make your little lines here like so, and then you go from the bottom, you can get yourself a little triangle style pattern forming here. And it did break out to the upside. Sometimes that break is fake, and then it makes the move to the actual downside. That's why we're still also watching this 50 exponential moving average. In fact, price getting up in here is a good thing, because it's going to have to get above there. And then could we see the drop at that point? We will see. We do also have to the downside marked off still. For those of you guys who have been watching, we have a very bearish fair value gap down here sitting at this 26, 27 cent level. And it's sitting right on top of our supply and demand zone, which is at 26 cents, the top of this daily supply and demand zone. And then we do also have right marked here our break level of 25,109. Because one of the things that we've been watching and following here, let's go ahead and turn all of these off again. Fair value gap, let's close that out. On XRP specifically, and on the dailies, we have these levels that have been very, very key levels. So you have we have to go back in history, right? 25 cents. Look at this. Boom, 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 chilling there the whole time. All right. That's a support and resistance level, very key level. And then the fact that that fair value gap sitting right on top of it. Next level up is this 35 cent level. That's where we've broken down to, been sitting at for so long, so long. And then we just broke back to the upside. Where are we looking to go right now? We're looking to make the move off of 35 cents back to 45 cents. And that's where it's been a support, and it could potentially turn into a resistance. That's also exactly where that fair value gap on the weekly ends, at that 45.9 cent zone. And right above that, we have a supply and demand zone, which will act as a resistance anyway. That's a 4-hour supply and demand zone to the upside, also sitting there at 46 cents. So there's a lot of really great signals for a reason for price to pump to the upside. Now, when we check to the downside, obviously we have these already playing out. These scenarios, that's what we're watching. And then we also have our 35 cent level, that's our support. But we do also have, alongside just that support level, we have a supply and demand candle here as well. And that gets us, you can see that it was a support, a support, a support, a support in the past. So we'll see if this price can keep its momentum going. Right now, the new daily candle just starting out as a doji. Usually if it has momentum behind it, it would still have that would have no wick on the bottom of the candle. So no wick, no wick, no wick, no wick. Today, starting with the doji, are we running out of steam here? And we also take back to the Japanese candlesticks. What we have is we are now bullish on all accounts for the RSI as well. So we're using the TDI plus RSI divergence indicator down here. You can see when the green level, which we have the green background, and we have the major green background. So this is the major green, and then it flips to black. And there's the green, or this one's red, meaning bearish. And then you can see the greens here bullish. Well, right now we have a double bullish scenario. The only thing that could be more exciting is if we were back above the 50 level where the bulls are in control on the RSI. And that's where we're starting to head right now. So we're going to watch this very closely. Can price move its way all the way up and get to the top side of the volatility band? And then we'll have to see, does it fight through from there? So right now we have some positive momentum, bullish scenarios, and even the signal that I just talked about, the daily signal that my indicator is flashing here, it is still showing bullish for the short time because price has to get above this 50 exponential moving average regardless. So let's run down the indicator here. Daily is bearish, but it does have to get above that 50 exponential moving average. The 4-hour just invalidated. It is no longer a bearish signal. It could flip bearish again quickly, right? But because we have now been above this level for so long, so much more momentum and volume has come in, we're actually going positive. So we've gone positive and we've invalidated the 4-hour bearish signal. So let's go to the 1 hour. 1 hour is bullish, and it just popped a bullish indicator move to where it's looking like where we're going is back to our level here at the 1100 exponential moving average. 41 cents looks like a reality here. So like I said, 1 hour just got a signal, bullish signal right now, and it also went double bull over here, and it is also crossing the 50 level. So we'll see how that plays out. Does that run all the way up to our 1100 exponential moving average on the 1 hour, also getting us up to that 50 daily exponential moving average? So it will take a little while. It's not like this 1 hour candle is going to get us there, but the momentum has definitely kicked in. Jumping to the 15-minute charts here, 15 minutes showing us a little bit of a possibility of a bearish scenario, but that could invalidate rather quickly with this cross as well. So we're going to keep an eye. But as you can see here, we're very, very close to the overbought territory on the 15 minutes. So that's why I said that 1 hour play, it could happen, but it may take a little bit of time because this is going to have to, play out a little bit, reset, trade sideways, and then continue its way to the upside. But right now, 15-minute is showing a bearish flash. 5-minute is invalid. There is no trade. The 1 minute is bullish. So the 1 minute's bullish, and check this out on the 1 minute. The 1 minute chart has just crossed the 50 exponential moving average, has just crossed the 1100. So that's really, really a bullish situation. If it can continue the momentum here, obviously we're extremely overbought. So this is going to have to stay up there. But what's probably going to happen is price is going to come down and reset. So we'll see as this line continues to climb here, that 50 exponential moving average. What I'm looking for and waiting for patiently is price to come swoop down below it, gather up some steam, and then boom, charge to the upside and really take us to that next level. So overall, right now, XRP is looking really positive. It is the weekend, though. Are we going to actually have some movement, or are we just going to keep trading sideways with this 1.5%, 2% moves? It's nothing crazy, nothing drastic, but we're watching. Are we going to pump up to this level? The 1 hour seems to show so. The daily looks like it wants to. 4 hours now invalid. So this is really, really good news. This is no longer a sell-off. So exciting times for XRP. Make sure you subscribe so you can see what happens tomorrow when we check back in. Let's go look at Ethereum. Look at Ethereum's crazy, man. I was doing some trades this afternoon, and Ethereum definitely got a good one in there. But let's go ahead. This is just way too much. Let's get these trend lines out of the way. All right, so let's recap what we have here. So first and foremost, we have our weekly open for Ethereum. It did happen here at 1141. We've made our way all the way up to the top so far of 1232-ish. It did reject off of our daily supply and demand zone, and that's with the High-Kanashis. And you can see this is our supply and demand candle. It got there, rejected. It's also rejecting off of the 14 exponential moving average on the daily charts. Jumping back to Japanese candlesticks, we have our 4-hour bearish EMA. So let's see if that is still intact. It is now invalid on XRP, but let's check Ethereum here. So Ethereum's daily signal is bearish. And as we talked about, let me go back to daily real quick. Sorry, since we were there. The daily 50 EMA was all the way up here at 1350 yesterday. Now it has moved its way all the way down to 1325. So again, it's actually bullish for this move to play out because it has to come up and go over that. So maybe this comes down over time a little more, depending on what angle that comes down at. But no matter what, for this big, massive daily down move to happen, price does actually have to come all the way over the 50 exponential moving average. And by then it could invalidate like the 4-hour did on XRP. Let's look here. Ethereum's 4-hour signal is still bearish. So that one, I'm not changing that at all. That's going to stay as it is. We're going to move this though, because as you can see, it was here at 1187. Now we can actually move along with it. It's now up to 1193. So if price comes down, makes its move under, breaks, we could see that fall back to 1157 potentially there. So that is the 4-hour. But as you can see, this new 4-hour candle is already making a move to that top side, which is really exciting. The 1-hour chart, 1 hour is bullish as can be. Look at the 1 hour here. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. And we still have tons of room to move all the way up to the overbought territory. So exciting to see the upside for Ethereum right now on this 1-hour chart. Everything's looking good. In fact, what could potentially happen is, let's take this right here. And we'll move this to here. Change it to blue. Change this one here. Text 1 hour. Bullish 50 EMA on 11/26. Today's the 26th. All right. So we'll save that there. So now we got that. So now we have our 4-hour bearish. So price, what's interesting here, what plays out first? That's why I always like to label all of them, because if price were to come dip down below this and then make a move up, we would be bullish before we can even get bearish. So that is a potential. The other potential is the price makes this move, comes crashing back down below this area, and then there could be a steep fall. But right now it is pumping. Look at this. It's making a move to the upside, looking really, really solid there. Let's go look at the 15-minute chart. 15 minutes is bullish as can be. Very exciting there. So 15 minutes is bullish. Price tried to make a bearish move down, but didn't happen. So as we can see here, this move is continuing to play out bullish to the upside. We'll go ahead and label this right here, and then we'll change this to purple, because if this does make a move here as well, 15-minute bullish 50 EMA, and that's on 11/26. So we can see price come down here. Even if it starts to dip and recover, boom, it would be able to make a surge to the top side, which is great. We also have the 5-minute, which is bullish, and also the 1-minute is bullish. So all the lower time frames on Ethereum are looking strong. The only scenario we have is this bearish 4-hour and also the bearish daily. So that is what we're looking at. So that's really, really good positive news for Ethereum in this short-term frame. So we'll see what happens and play that out. Let's go to Bitcoin and see what's going on. Taking a look here on the daily for Bitcoin. And let's see here. So Bitcoin's bearish move is if price reaches this level here above the 50 exponential moving average, then has a potential fall off. And let's see if Bitcoin is still showing bearish. Bitcoin's daily chart is bearish right now, and it's trading sideways. It could just continue trading sideways until, because obviously if this did pump all the way up to 1830, it would probably flip the indicator bullish anyway, invalidating this signal. But let's say that the 50 continues moving here, price trend, continues moving sideways. Maybe this goes a little steeper or something, and we meet this over here in a couple of days. Price moves up a little, etc. So we'll keep an eye on that. But what we do also have is this 4-hour scenario. And if we look at the 4-hour scenario right now, the 4-hour scenario is at a turning point. It's going to go one way or the other. As we've seen with XRP and Ethereum, they're kicking off this day very bullish. We're already making that move back up to the upside here. So you can see it's already been an up and over, and then down, and then up and over. So it has not made the official bearish move, which is really interesting, even though it does have that signal from 1125. We've moved it now. So let's edit this. This one is now adjusted to 1126. That's the 4-hour bearish move. If for some reason price decides to flip on us and it comes down, we could see a drop from there. So daily's bearish, 4 hours bearish, 1 hour. 1 hour's bullish, and it's making its move right now, just like those other indicators, other coins as well. So with the bullish saga, it's the opposite. So this 50 moving average, blue, 1 hour, 50 EMA, bull on 1126. And you can see when it came down, so price came below the 50, chilled here for a little bit, and then boom, once it broke above, it's really starting to make its move to the upside. It also has a confirmed break of trend. We are also bullish down here on the RSI, and we even have the volatility band starting to expand. So there's some volume coming into the markets. Okay, so what else do we have, though? We have all these huge amounts of, let's go back to daily, and then we got to get rid of some of these zones. So these are the zones from history. That's why they're marked off. These are supply and demand zones. We're currently sitting in this one. The next level down is this 15,000. Next level down is 13,000. And then we even have the 11,000 mark. So if price continues to drop there, those are historical. We are also currently sitting in a current level. And so let's go to Hikinashi. And you can see this was our daily candle we were using as supply and demand. We now have this one here that invalidates that one. We'll delete, redraw here. There we go. But as you can see, it is using that scenario as a resistance. So this candle that just busted through right now, that is really bullish. So that's for this short period of time, right? Because it's gotten in there. It pierced in, and then it rejected, and then it rejected, and then it rejected. But right now we're pierced in. We need to continue that growth of price to the upside and get there. We are going to potentially run into the top side of this supply and demand box up here at 16,988, 17,000. It's also going to have a hard time getting through this 14 EMA, which is currently sitting at 16,700. So if it does, though, boom, it makes its way. Then it makes its way to 17,000. Then it has this level here that needs to break to 17,500. But then really getting all the way up here and getting itself back to 18,300, that would be a scenario that at that point we have to really pay attention to, because if it decides to reject off of that level, we could have another spillover like we did here. And then we do also have the fair value gaps on these as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of things showing that price needs to come back up before it even goes back down. But at the same time, the new week starts tomorrow, right? So 19 hours. And then the other indicator that we haven't really talked about is the moon phases, right? So the moon phase has just kicked in. So for those of you guys that are not following or have not seen this before, a full moon typically indicates a pump to the upside. A new moon typically indicates a move to the downside. And that's on stocks, bonds, everything, cryptos. And you can go historically. They do sometimes not play out. Sometimes it'll just trade sideways or whatever the case may be. But look at full moon pumped up. New moon dropped a little. Full moon. This one pumped for a second, but then crashed hard. This one up here was a new moon, traded sideways, crash. Look at this one. New moon, traded sideways, crash. New moon, we are trading sideways. What comes next? Only time will tell. So subscribe, make sure you follow along, and we'll be here again tomorrow.
If you're ready to earn an extra $200 to $3,000 per day in passive income, just like the Run Guys do every single day, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, then click the link in the description of this video to learn the Run Guys' #1 way to start earning passive income online with crypto today.